real high-class bout. It's on!
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Arsenal X, the Xbox podcast here on the Boss Rush Network. I'm your host, Corey Gehrig, and alongside me, the one and the only joy of the EXP cast, Stoy.
Hello. One of these days, you're going to have to give yourself like a hyped up like intro. You're going to have to be like,
I saved that
hey,
for
everybody.
I saved that for
I'm like the great, the amazing, the wonderful, the delightful Corey.
No, if you want that, you have to listen to Pow Block, and then you can just let Ed do it because he's he's Ed. You know how Ed is.
Yeah.
He tries to make everybody sound like they're like the next
best
all-star
thing,
Hall of Famer sports person, or like the next, I don't know. Like, he introduces everybody on the show like they're like Reggie Fils-Aimé or Phil Spencer. You know what I mean? Like, he's just Ed's got that
it's nice.
hype. He's got that hype for everybody.
I mean, it's nice. It makes you feel good, I guess.
Sometimes, Ed.
You got to do that. You got to do that to yourself sometimes, Corey. You got to be like, hey, you know what?
Nah.
I am the somewhat likable, decently human Corey.
You know,
You got to say something like that. Be humble about it.
I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna let the show do the talking, and if people enjoy me, they can enjoy me, and if someone wants to say something nice, they can put it in the comments or in the iTunes ratings. 5 stars only.
Yep. Don't forget to smash that like button.
Yeah. Smash the
Hit that
bell
subscribe
so
button.
you get notified when this video goes up and every other video the channel posts, or however these.
Maybe that's what we got to do. We got to start, introducing our episode. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Arsenal X podcast. Don't forget to smash that like button.
We also gotta put our surprised or disgusted faces on the thumbnails too, because that's apparently when you're posting a YouTube video, you're supposed to post somebody's face real big in like a surprised or confused or angry fashion.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna do one, and you're gonna do one at the same time, and yeah. So grab that screenshot, and then you can post that if you want.
Yeah.
Stoy can't believe what he just hears. Next episode.
Stoy can't believe what game is coming to Game Pass this week.
Stoy is shocked at what Xbox just announced. Clickbait.
Corey doesn't like the PlayStation 5. Here's why.
Yeah. Here are the top 10 reasons why Stoy hates Nintendo. I think that would be more clickbaity.
Probably.
That would be more clickbaity.
Probably.
We'd get a bunch of people in pitchforks.
Right.
Regardless.
Right. To be fair, I don't hate the PlayStation 5. I just don't own one.
And I don't hate Nintendo. I am a strong proponent that the Wii U was better than what it was deserved. Poor Wii U.
Poor Wii U.
We hardly knew you.
Oh, I knew you very well because I owned one and I have like 60 games for it. But
yeah, I know. It's too bad. The tablet thing was a good idea. It was a good idea.
I'm just telling you, it was a test bed for the Switch because they wanted that handheld experience in the living room. And then they're like, oh, we just did it backwards. Here's the real device. But we're going to resell all these Wii U games to you for $10 more than they were on this console.
Yep. Nintendo's a business.
And, by the way, remember Pikmin 3 and Donkey Kong were $20 on the Wii U eShop? We're gonna remove them from the Wii U eShop a month before the Switch versions come out.
They did that?
Yeah.
Damn.
Because they were $20. They were part of the Nintendo Selects line.
Right, yeah. And Nintendo never discounts their games.
Yeah, so they were $20, but right when those games were announced, they removed them.
Damn, Nintendo. You're not even shy about that.
No.
You're just like, this is pretty much an asshole move, but we're going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
It'd be like that.
It'd
be like that.
It's okay. I enjoy my Nintendo Switch, especially this past week with Metroid.
I bought a second Nintendo Switch. I bought a Nintendo Switch Lite.
Why would you do that?
So I could play it on the go.
But
Shut up, Corey.
But
it makes sense to me. It makes sense to me.
If it makes you feel better, I did the same thing like 6 months ago.
Okay, all right, good.
I was just wanted to give you a hard time.
Okay, got it. Because it didn't make sense to me because I'm part of this like video game collectors group on Discord, and somebody was selling like a Switch Lite for $110.
Oh,
so
wow.
I was like, I'll pick that up. Like that's actually a damn good deal for a Switch Lite. You know, good condition. I think there was just only like one game on it. The guy didn't even clear the hard drive or whatever. But anyway, yeah, I was like, I can't pass this up because I can play my Switch on the go now. And I realized how stupid I sounded justifying that in my head. Why to spend $110
right
on a second system when it's like the Switch is already friggin' portable?
It's okay. It's
fine.
Okay. To be fair, I like the lighter form factor of the Switch Lite. It is nice. It's better playing it portably than the regular Switch. It's lighter, like
smaller.
It has a D-pad.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I like that because especially that's something like the Switch Lite you can just slap in the back of your pocket.
It's true. You know? It actually fits in your pocket.
Yeah, unless you're a female. Why don't like females have pockets in their pants? Like, I never understood that.
I mean, is that a thing? Is that still a thing?
Yes,
I thought that was a thing like 15 years ago. I remember that was like a big thing where there were no pockets on the back of female pants.
Well, there's some female pants that have like fake pockets, right? Where they're just like stitched in there, and they're like, "Hey, this could be a pocket, but it's not." Yeah,
I don't like that.
They're getting better because they're making dresses with pockets in them. So I mean, they're getting there. They're catching up, but I'm just saying, girls.
We're gonna get in trouble about talking about girls' pants on the show.
No. This is I feel for them because like girls got to carry these big ass purses all the time, and it's like you wouldn't need to do that. Why do they have pockets?
Why do they have to carry a purse? So let's be honest here.
Let's
talk about this for a second.
Corey, you just talked about not getting in trouble, and now here we are about to get in trouble.
I just want to know. Look, someday we're gonna have a female on the show, and we're gonna ask them about why they carry giant purses. You know?
Yeah.
You know?
Because do they really need half the stuff that's in there?
What's even in there?
I don't know, man. I never asked.
I mean, it's probably better not to ask most of the time.
Like, it's one of those things when I'm just like, oh, hey, honey, can I move your car? And she's like, yeah, my keys are in my purse. And I'm like, uh-oh. So, like, I basically just, like, kind of, like, stick my hand in, like, Raiders of the Lost Ark or some shit. And just, like, trying to grab it. It's like, I got it. Oh, God.
You got those big slimy bugs crawling all over you?
Yeah, that's basically my fear every time I reach into the purse. So. But, yeah, like, ladies, you guys need pockets.
Pockets are useful.
Yes, they are. Like, I don't need to carry a purse with me. I got place for my keys, place for my wallet, place for my phone. I, for some reason, always carry a pen with me.
He doesn't need to carry a purse with him, but maybe he does sometimes.
I mean, it would be nice. Like, if I want to carry my Switch Lite with me everywhere, or, if I want to, like, carry deodorant with me or something.
It's true.
What else would a dude need to carry? I don't know, like a socket wrench set?
No, I mean...
just jumper cables?
Yeah, but you can keep that in your car.
Yeah, I keep that in my car, I guess. But, like, what if you're, like, in the parking lot and, like, I don't know.
If you're in the parking lot, aren't you by your car?
I suppose. But
unless you're walking
maybe you're out
by
in the middle of the woods. You're out in the middle of the woods.
But whose car are you fixing in the middle of the woods? If there's a car out there, that means there's probably someone dead out there.
Yeah, right.
And then you gotta.
Listen, I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out reasons why men need purses.
I mean, I don't know if you're doing a very good job at that. I'm trying to figure.
I am not doing a very good job with it. So, I think this means I will not be buying a purse anytime soon.
Not until you figure out what you need.
Yeah, I mean, it could come to a point where it's like, hey, maybe I do need jumper cables with me, like where I'm going, and I need to carry them on me at all times. So, yeah. I mean, what if all of a sudden a random sporting match occurs and like you need someone says, hey, who has a football? And you're just like, hey, let me reach into my purse. I got a football.
You know what? That's fair.
Yeah. So. I mean, there have been times in the past where all of a sudden an impromptu soccer game will pop up, and all of a sudden it's like, oh man, I wish I had cleats on me. Well, you got cleats in your purse.
It's fair. That's fair. Speaking of cleats, there, Stoy.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this rumor that EA is not going to be FIFA's not going to be part of EA's soccer game soon?
Well, let me just say, for starters, the turntables have turned because FIFA's so damn corrupt. Not corrupt, but very money hungry.
Yeah.
And EA is very money hungry. So it's like you got the two giant money hungry companies going at each other.
Because I
will.
I just want to catch some people up.
Yeah.
FIFA or EA recently trademarked the name EA Sports FC, and they are currently at a halt in their negotiations with FIFA after the Qatar World Cup. So, a lot of speculation going on here.
Well, and the reasoning is that EA has a stranglehold on FIFA, on the FIFA franchise. So like they pay royalties or however much money to FIFA to retain the license.
$150 million a year.
Yeah. So that means that all the most professional teams in the world that have allegiance to FIFA, obviously, most professional teams, if not all, have to report to FIFA. That's the governing body. It's like every basketball team reports to the NBA, every football team reports to the NFL. FIFA is just the same, except obviously they're worldwide because, whatever. Anyway, no other company can make games with top English Premier League teams in them or top Italian Premier League teams in them because there are FIFA licenses. FIFA owns the team names, and they own the not own but like trademark the team names and trademark the players. The only reason Konami got away with it is that they had a different license to be able to use certain teams from certain countries. So it's kind of a weird thing. Anyway, FIFA's kind of wants a little bit more competition. So they want other developers to work on soccer games too as well, which I'll give them that. So I think they want more money. Because like if they could,
they're asking for almost double. I think they're trying to get $250 million out of EA now a year,
which EA could afford. I
mean, what'd they say? They said something like $7 or $8 billion over the next 8 years or something, which I guess would be 200 or 250 million a year. So,
I mean, EA can afford that with just from sales from FIFA alone. Like, I mean, it's the top selling sports game of all time.
I think they made $1.1 billion off of Ultimate Team alone last year. So
yeah. So I mean, that's chump change to them. I mean, it's not technically fair, but I mean, I guess it'd be like that. But I'm with them that I would like them to like not to have a monopoly. I would like to see what other developers would do with a FIFA franchise.
Yeah. Especially someone like what it's not called Winning 11 anymore. It's eFootball, right?
It's called eFootball, but it was like Project Evolution.
Yeah.
Soccer for a while.
Or like
it would be nice
even
to
like
have them.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say it would be nice to have maybe them have the license.
Yeah. Or even like if you wanted more competition with current FIFA, like 2K probably wants to jump in at some point because they're trying to jump into the NFL stuff now.
Mm-hmm.
So like they're not allowed to make a simulation NFL game, but they're allowed to make a somewhat competitive NFL game now. So.
And I don't think that's fair of EA to do that. Like, I mean, it would be nice to have it. It's almost like, it's almost illegal in a way. Like, I mean, you can't stop another developer from making a soccer game or making a football game. But will they be able to compete against the giants? No, they won't. I mean, it's like, it's grossly unfair. Like, yeah, you could go make a soccer game, but you ain't going to have anywhere near the reach that FIFA does.
Right. So. I don't know.
And even with 2K, EA was the reigning champ with NBA for so long, and then obviously 2K came out with their NBA 2K series and just basically just slapped EA in the face with like how much better of a game it is.
Right.
So imagine if all of a sudden, and maybe that's what EA is afraid of. There could be a developer out there that makes a better game than FIFA. And then all of a sudden EA becomes, irrelevant.
Well, I remember like a couple years after EA did the Madden deal for the NFL deal, right, for the exclusive, 2K came out with a football game that was actually really good, called All Pro Football.
Yeah, I remember that.
And it was really weird because they used a lot of retired and legends of football in the game. And then you could create up to, I think, 30 players that you could add to your team at some point. But it was really good, but it was very bare bones. And, like, obviously without the NFL names and whatever, it just, Madden still ate its lunch. It was good, though. I played it. It was fun.
Yeah, I thought it was good. But that's the thing. Like, a developer is not going to like shell millions of dollars to develop a game that they know they're not going to see a huge return on, because you won't be able to compete against a Madden, which is unfair in the grand scheme of things. So it would be nice to see FIFA kind of give its license to other developers to say, hey, let's see what you can do with it.
Yeah.
Because, everybody complains about FIFA every year. They don't fix the things that need to be fixing. They make improvements to things that it's like, all right, you didn't need to do that. It's just a glorified roster refresh every year.
Yeah.
So.
I actually think Konami is going about it in the right way. I think the free-to-play option I think it's a smart move for them. Although, I know they're saying that the console versions aren't the mobile version, but it's clearly the mobile version on consoles.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good.
I feel like the way they're doing it, like strategically, if you take the phone stuff out of it, I think it's a smart play at EA, like aiming at EA, saying, hey, you don't have to pay $60 or $70 for this game. You can come play here for free. And I actually think out of all the games that are service games, like sports games, are the ones that make the most sense to do that, especially with them monetizing the Ultimate Team, and you could like monetize players in other ways other than just buying the next game every year. But I don't know, I just still can't believe that sports games are not service games yet. I can't believe it.
Yeah, it is. I always thought that was kind of weird, because it's like how much changes year after year. You may see more significant changes in gameplay and graphics, like maybe like every 5 years, but every year, like, is it necessary? No. Maybe every 10 years, every year, you maybe pay a $10 DLC for a roster refresh. Like, here's the updated rosters to reflect this season. So, that to me has always made more sense.
Yeah. I don't know. Just sports games are weird. Also Madden. Also Madden hasn't been very good in a couple of years, so yeah, I would argue 10, 15-ish. But yeah, especially, dude, the last time I tried to play Madden online, holy crap, dude. I might as well have been playing a turn-based strategy RPG.
Yeah.
God, it was so laggy and slow and just, man. And I have good internet. Like, I have fiber internet.
FIFA's pretty much stayed the same for the last 5 years too. Like, every time I pick it up, I'm like, it's pretty much the same, except I don't know, maybe just obviously playing it on PlayStation 5 is significantly better graphically, but it's cool. It looks exactly the same regardless.
Yeah, that's why I bought.
It plays exactly the same.
I bought one of the legacy versions of FIFA on Switch for $15, and I'm like, this is the only FIFA I'm gonna need for 5 years.
Bro, they admitted the recent FIFA that came out, FIFA 21. They admitted it's FIFA 19.
Yeah, I know. They admitted
have
that.
Not made.
No,
they admitted that.
19, 20, 21, and 22 are literally the exact game with roster updates. That's literally it.
That makes more sense. That makes more sense. But don't charge them $50-$60 for that shit.
No.
Jeez.
I think 22 was $40 on Switch.
I mean, at least it's cheaper, but still.
Yeah, it's funny. IGN keeps like they keep copy and pasting their review because the game is basically copy paste.
Well, yeah, and they give it such a bad review every year, where it's like 2 out of 10 because it's the same game as last year.
Yeah. So it's funny.
Yeah.
Sports games, man.
Yeah, sports games. Sports.
Yeah.
Sports.
Speaking of sports, Stoy. This is Arsenal X, the Xbox podcast here on the Boss Rush Network, where each and every week we get together with our friends from around the internet to talk about Xbox and everything we love about it, including news, rumors, new games, Game Pass, and more. Check out check out Arsenal X Live. I almost said check out Xbox Live. Arsenal X Live on Sunday nights on twitch.tv/Boss Rush Network and at 8:30, 7:30 Central, or on podcast services and YouTube on Tuesday mornings. You can follow us on all social media platforms at Boss Rush Network, and you can catch all of our podcasts, reviews, banter pieces, and more on our website, bossrush.net. Stoy, we're going to jump in to what we've been playing. What are you playing, Stoy? What are you playing?
Well, I finally beat Evil Within 2 to honor Spoopy Game Month.
Spoopy Game
Month. Yep, that was a good ending. Like, really good story. Really, kind of, I don't know. Just the characters are good. Everything is good about that game, and it's just so batshit crazy. Like where they go with it, like in the last half of the game. Really cool.
Is it scary? Is it spoopy?
Yeah, it's kind of like just unsettling. It's not like Visage type scary where it's like ghosts. It's just like kind of macabre monster design style scary. So. Kind of like think of like Silent Hill as an action game. That's kind of how I describe it. Otherwise, I've been digging my feet into Back 4 Blood still having fun with that. Put some significant time into Far Cry 6. I'm only like the first 3 hours into that game. So, Ubisoft needs to do something different with 7. I mean, it's pretty much the same game, just in a different location.
That's what I hear. I hear it's pretty much, hey. Instead of, Montana this time, it's fictional Central America country.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good formula. So it's like Ubisoft has that if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of mentality. It's like, I get it. But like, admittedly, Assassin's Creed needed that kind of like refresh. And thankfully we got that when Origins came out, when it was like, okay, all right, we just completely almost rebooted the franchise, and that the franchise went up, but obviously now it's hitting a plateau again with Valhalla, and Far Cry 3 changed the formula, and it started going up, and I think it started to plateau a little bit after 4, kind of plateaued with 5 and 6. It's just like, it's pretty much the same, same game. I'm not saying it's bad. Like it's a fun game. It's a great game. A lot of action. Really good story. Like really good dialogue, actually. Like the acting is really well done. Like Ubisoft really does a good job with finding the right actors for the right people, and the writing's really good. But it's pretty much like the same action game over and over again. So
is it at least fun? Like I've never played Far Cry, so like, is this for like fans of the genre, as they would say?
It's fun. It's fun. It's an open world first person shooter. So, very much you could be running around in a large open area, and then all of a sudden like get to a small part of the map, and then you have to like, you got to release these prisoners here, or this is a fuel depot you got to destroy, and that's going to like disrupt the region and stuff. And, or like, obviously, you have main objectives or quest objectives that you have to go to one side of the map to the other and stuff, and you can't go into that area yet because it's too heavily fortified, or like the enemies are too strong, you don't have enough powerful weapons. So they do a pretty decent job of gatekeeping and making sure you stay on track, as opposed to like wandering somewhere where you shouldn't,
right,
or you're not ready to.
Right.
So, but yeah, like, I mean, it's fun. There's always something to do. It depends on like, if you want to stay focused on the main task and the main objectives, which I am, I don't get too lost in side content. Like, I just want to do main quests. That's it. Maybe do a couple occasional side quests here and there, but I just want to main quest it, get the storyline done, and get my time with it. But
well,
yeah,
that's fair.
I don't know if I answered your question.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Well,
that's what this game is. It's fine. I mean, would I recommend you spend $60 on it? No.
I feel like
if you're indifferent about it, yeah, I would wait for a sale.
I feel like Ubisoft is like, I feel like they had it. They had it. They're like, we know what we're doing with all of our franchises. For like 2 years, they're like, we got it. We nailed it. And now they're so lost with everything. Like, yeah,
I mean,
it's just like they have that weird Ghost Recon Frontlines that they're like, it's a free to play. We're not calling it Battle Royale, but it's a Battle Royale game. But then they delayed it.
I don't want to talk about that.
Well, they delayed it indefinitely. Did you hear that? Because of fan feedback.
Good.
They're like, we hear the fans. This isn't what you want. We're gonna delay it indefinitely until we figure it out.
What made them think they even wanted that? That's the problem.
But
Ghost Recon has taken such a steep detour, ever since like Advanced Warfighter games, like from the 360 and PS3 era. Like, I mean, Wildlands was good. And
I like the one between Gra 2 and Wildlands. What was that one?
I think that was Advanced Warfighter. No, that was not.
No.
That's what Gra is. Yeah, that one was kind of like a single player. Actually, that's my favorite Ghost Recon game.
Yeah,
I know which one you're talking about.
I forget what it's called though. But like that's what I would want out of a Ghost Recon.
Mm-hmm. And that's what it should be.
And I was like hoping Wildlands was going to be that, and it wasn't. And then obviously Breakpoint was like, what are we doing here?
Yeah,
the Division in the jungle, pretty much,
and making the game like literally impossible to play by yourself. Which, I think Ubisoft needs to kind of like do an identity check in terms of who their target audience is with these particular games.
Yeah, and then you look at like any of the Tom Clancy games. It's like, look at why does X Defiant? Why is it trying to be a military Borderlands game? Like that's what it looks like. Like it's like this isn't what Tom Clancy games are.
No,
and it's like Tom Clancy is gonna just get out of his grave and come just annihilate your studio.
Yeah,
and then go back to sleep.
Well, that was the problem. I always heard like when he developed those game studios, he was very strict on what went into his games.
Yeah, I mean,
if it wasn't rooted in reality.
Yeah.
He would put the kibosh on it. Like Splinter Cell almost didn't happen because he was ready to put the kibosh on everything about it.
Mm-hmm. Like the Red Storm, the studio Red Storm was his studio. He opened that studio, and he was very hands-on. And that studio is working on the free-to-play Division game that's coming, which is another Battle Royale / survival game, apparently. So, like, I don't know, man. Didn't Ubisoft release a Battle Royale that failed? Hyper Stupid or whatever it was called?
Yeah, it just came out. Yeah, it just came out like within the last year.
Yeah.
And its numbers had dropped significantly.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even hear it being talked about anymore. Like,
yeah.
Even PUBG is still being talked about. And it's like, well.
Yeah, PUBG, Apex Legends, Fortnite even too. Like,
yeah.
I mean, those are the big dogs.
Yeah.
And
Warzone, like, it just, like, if you're not, if your name isn't Call of Duty or Fortnite, like, and it didn't start this, like, Apex has a nice twist to the Battle Royale genre that, like, I think has kept it very relevant. From what I hear, it's still very, very good.
Yeah.
But, like, if you're not, like, why even try to jump into the Battle Royale game at this point? And Ubisoft has 3 of them.
It's almost too late.
3 of them.
Point, if one of those isn't like bringing in stellar numbers every week, like, you need to start kind of looking somewhere else. But I think that's been the problem with Ubisoft is that Ubisoft has been very good at making just mediocre games.
Yeah.
Like I was talking to someone today about that where that's where he said he's like they do a good job of making okay games. Like they're not bad, but they're not great. Like they're just okay.
Yeah.
I just talked about like how I got bored to tears playing Watch Dogs Legion.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't even finish it. I got like maybe like 5-6 hours in, and I was like, I can't bring myself to finish this game. I don't want to go anymore. Breakpoint, it was the same thing. It was like, that 6 to 7 hour mark. I was like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Right.
I don't want to do it.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I don't. Let's see. The last. I have a real fondness for Assassin's Creed. I really loved Odyssey.
Yeah.
Like I think Odyssey is like the best Assassin's Creed game. It's actually probably in my top 20 games of all time. I love that game a lot. I'm one of the people who think that Assassin's Creed made the right direction. But like I mean I understand what that series was, and maybe like these open world games should have been like Prince of Persia games or maybe a new IP or something. But I really like those games. But like we've been talking about, like the Tom Clancy series is such a like grounded in reality. Like even the Division, like that first game was so grounded and so cool, but then like you get to the second game and like halfway through the second game it's like what are we doing here?
Yeah, I get that. That was another one too. It's like I completed the Division first one all the way through, and I got to the second one, and it's like, yeah, I couldn't bring myself to go past halfway through it. Man.
Yeah, I played a ton of the first Division, and then I stopped playing for like I don't know, a year, I guess. And by the time like the second one was like inching closer, I'm like, yeah, I could go for some more Division.
Yeah.
But then like I played it for like 10 hours and I was like, maybe I didn't want more Division. Or like, what do they do to this version of the Division that is different? Like I couldn't figure it out. But then like they start changing all of these Tom Clancy games, which, whatever. Like a Siege, I hear is people still really love, but like
that's pretty much their flagship at this point. Like that churns in numbers like crazy.
Yeah.
So.
And like people still like For Honor and stuff, but like it's just Ubisoft has an identity crisis right now. I feel like they're trying too many different things, and I feel like they're on the verge of almost like catastrophically failing in multiple ways, and it's going to be like a THQ situation almost.
Well, yeah, they're not going to make a return on their investments anytime soon. If they continually make mediocre games that are just okay, people are going to stop buying them because they know like, well, I didn't much enjoy the last one. I mean, that's probably the thing with the thing with Frontline. There's probably a lot of people that are like, I'm not buying this shit.
Yeah.
So, and then it's like, oh crap, okay, pump the brakes. Well, that's how For Honor was. For Honor, they had to drastically change up the gameplay because when it came out, it beta tested poorly.
Yeah.
Very poorly. So they had to change so much about it. And thankfully it worked out for them. But Ubisoft needs to, I don't know, they need to play test, focus test a little bit better before they start putting out stuff like Frontline and thinking like, this is what you want, right?
Yeah.
It's like, no.
Like,
no.
If it was
Give us Splinter Cell, damn it. Damn it, Ubisoft.
I know. What? Yeah, and that's the thing too that made everybody mad was like, what the X-Defiant has third echelon agents in it that like you're supposed to play stealthily, and it's like, just give us Splinter Cell already. This is it's ridiculous. People don't want this crap. Like I'm not one. I'm usually not one to be like, oh, people don't want this. Like people are just mad. The internet's just mad. But then it's like, no, people really don't want this.
Yeah, and they're telling you.
Yeah,
and it's like they're not listening.
Like, and then you have projects that are like, just straight up dying, like Skull and Bones. That like, what?
That's become a joke at this point.
Yeah, I mean, is that game even ever going to come out? Which it has to.
I mean, because that's the deal. So much money on it.
Well, not only that, but they made it's in their contract with the Shanghai government because the Shanghai government funded the studio, and they're gonna get sued, and they're like, well,
they don't want that.
Yeah.
What's the other one? Beyond Good and Evil or something like that. Yeah. That's another one that's like a running joke too, where it's like, yeah,
Dude, that game's been a joke for years, even before they showed it off.
Ubisoft is becoming a meme right now in the video game industry.
Look,
and
all they need to do to fix their image, all they need to do,
Ubisoft, listen.
Put out a
Corey's about to spit.
Put out one good. It doesn't even have to be great. Just one good Splinter Cell game that is along the lines of the first 3.
Yeah.
Put out a third Rayman game. Fix that Prince of Persia remake.
Which hopefully they are, because man, that early gameplay footage, I was like, ooh.
Yeah. Fix it. And make sure the next Assassin's Creed is very good. Right? That's all you gotta do. And like maybe put out a Tom Clancy game that doesn't look like you just.
How about a linear single player Tom Clancy game? Yeah. A linear. I mean, I would love to have a single player Rainbow Six experience. Yeah. You know, back in the days of like how Vegas and Vegas 2 were. Yeah. I want that so bad.
Yeah.
I know I'll never get it because there's no way Ubisoft is gonna make money on that, even though they think they will make money on it, but I think they will. But yeah.
The thing is like video games are just too expensive now to make, that it's like, if you're not the $70 you're spending on the game isn't paying for the game anymore. So they have to find ways to recoup that cost. And like, there's got to be a better way to make smaller experiences. Like if you gave me a 6 to 8 hour Vegas campaign style Rainbow Six game, and you charged $50 for it, but it was still super high quality, and maybe you monetize like skins or whatever if you want like cooler whatever, and then you add like a small like, okay, here's a co-op thing, you know, and then you integrate stuff from Siege into it, like maybe it comes with Siege multiplayer stuff attached to it, like that. I feel like that would be way better for them.
Yeah,
I feel like that would do way better for them.
Yeah,
I just feel like, and it's not just Ubisoft, I feel like all these companies get caught up in we gotta monetize, we gotta have this killer multiplayer where we can make Fortnite money.
Yeah.
And I don't think that they realize that people still want that small single player experience, right? Like we've both played, you've been playing Metroid Dread, right?
Yes.
Nintendo charged $60 for it. It's like a 10 to 15 hour experience. Mm-hmm. It's perfectly fine with me.
Yeah, perfectly fine with me. There's a lot of games. I mean, when I buy Call of Duty every year, I don't play multiplayer. So I literally just pay $50-$60 for the campaign.
Yeah.
And I have a great time. Like their campaigns are some of the best first person shooter campaigns out there right now.
Yeah.
And like I said, I love that. I don't mind paying that. I know I don't speak for the majority, but there's still a good contingent of us that will pay for those experiences. But yeah. So Far Cry 6. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's okay, guys.
I'll still play it because I'm having fun with it, but it's like I'm not having like, oh my god, this is the game of the year.
Yeah.
So, otherwise, I played The Good Life.
Yeah, how's that?
It's interesting. So this game is on Game Pass. It just came out last week on Game Pass, and this game was developed by. Have you ever played Deadly Premonition?
No, but I know what it is.
Yeah. Okay. So it's made by the same developer. Swery is his name. It's his tagline, whatever. Anyway, so he developed this game.
No, it's just his name.
Yeah, that's. Maybe it is. Maybe that's what his parents named him when he was born. Sick. Anyway.
It's a cool name.
I wish my name was Swery. So he kickstarted this game. It failed. Restarted again. Became hugely successful because Microsoft took note and started pushing it. And it became successful. So basically, you're a photographer from New York visiting a small little British town that is the happiest place on earth. The happiest town on earth. You're there to investigate for this media company. Why is it so happy? Why is it the happiest town on earth? There's got to be something going on. So through your little investigations in the game, you find out that at night everybody in the town turns into cats and dogs. And they retain their same like physical features. So like say for example, like if a character in town has like a pair of glasses or something like that, they still have the glasses on their cat.
So like a cat has glasses and like a cane or a hat or whatever.
A cat doesn't need glasses, but the cat has glasses.
Cats all need glasses. It's fine.
I mean, their sight isn't the greatest. So yeah, like you're just basically wandering around town. It's like an open world kind of like wandering around town type of game, and you're engaging in conversation. I haven't encountered any combat yet, but I did discover there is a stomping button. So there's a button you can use to stomp. And check this shit out. There is a button that allows you to skip.
Like
skipping. Like
the motion skipping.
Yes.
Not like skipping a cutscene.
You could be walking through town, and you hold, I think it's the B button, and you're just skipping.
Interesting.
Yeah. Why not? I don't know what it does. I'm only like maybe 2 hours in.
Does it move you? Do you move faster? Is it like the equivalent to like a sprint button? I
mean, there is a sprint button, and you have like a little sprint meter that shows how much how your stamina is. But you can move a little bit faster while skipping. I imagine there's a reason why it's there. I don't know why it is, but you can skip in this game.
Interesting.
So it's got some weird, corny dialogue and some really bad, like kind of like deep rural British accents. Like Collie Wobbler and all those other like weird British names and weird things that I've never heard of ever. But yeah, so part of the game is like you can go around town taking pictures, because like you're there for this town because you have this. Check this shit out. You have this 50 million pound debt to pay.
What?
50 million pounds, and you have to do odd jobs in this town to pay off the debt. 50 million pounds. I don't know how the hell she got this much debt, but that's part of the story. So like you basically take pictures, and if you have certain tags in those pictures, you can actually upload them, and then you get monetized. So it's like, oh hey, this picture had 300 likes, and you received a payout of like £3 or something like that, whatever. So you can make money that way. You can make money completing objectives for the people in your town. Now, the biggest decision that you have to make, Corey, if you were to play this game, would you be team cat or team dog?
Team dog.
Team dog all the way. Yes, sir.
No, we don't. I don't do cats.
Okay. Don't. It's okay. We won't tell.
Even though we have a cat, but I don't like it.
Yeah. Don't worry. We won't tell the cat.
It's fine. It knows.
The cat probably knows. Yeah, you're right.
The cat really knows. I tell it all the time. I say, I hate you.
You're a piece of shit.
You suck. Stop shitting in the hallway.
Yeah, so depending on who you are, like, okay, if you're walking around town at night and you pet a cat, all of a sudden that means you're on team cat. You can go pet a couple dogs and like revert back to being team dog. And like if you do objectives for people that are on team cat, like team dog objectives will be shut out, so like side quests and stuff. So, but you can like kind of flip-flop back and forth. It's just apparently it takes a little bit of work to like, oh, I don't want to be on Team Cat anymore. I want to be on Team Dog and try to see if I can do some extra stuff for Team Dog. I don't know. This is a video game.
This is a pretty intense game.
This is wild, man. This girl, this main character, man, she's angry. She's like, out of her mouth, it's like, goddamn town.
You know why? You know why she's angry? She doesn't have pockets in her pants.
Probably, yeah.
That's
why. She doesn't have pockets in her pants. She has to walk around with this big ass camera, and she can't put it in her pocket. She has to carry it in her hands.
See,
actually, I don't know.
No, but that's the real reason. It's the reason.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Spoilers. Yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't want to go there, but you did. That's on you, man.
I did.
That's on you.
It's It's okay.
That's what I've been playing. I am oddly intrigued. Like I thought I wouldn't like this game, and I didn't want to play it. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't really want to play this game. But this afternoon, I had a little bit of time, and I was like, yeah, sure, fine, I'll download it. Game Pass, it's nice thing to have, and like it's got me intrigued. Swery has this thing about his storytelling and his characters, and just everything about it is just very intriguing. Like it's a mystery, and it's like everything is so freaking weird in this game. I have to know why it's so weird, and like the deeper you go, the weirder it gets, and it just keeps you going and keeps you going. It's so I'm hooked. I'm trapped.
Nice. Hey,
What have
Stoy.
you been playing?
Stoy.
Yes.
We have to pause real quick. I have
Yeah?
to give my daughter some Tylenol.
Oh, okay. All right.
So, entertain the live audience for, I don't know, 5 minutes to 3 hours.
All right, cool.
So,
all right, let's see. I'll figure something out. I'm going to read a book. I'm going to read an article, I guess. I'm going to try to find a really interesting article to read. Let's see. Okay, so here is a Xbox One green text 4chan story that I'm about to read to you all. Okay, so here we go. Oh man, this is real small text. Okay, wake up feeling sick after a late night of playing Vidya. Vidya means it's video games. Excited to play some Halo 2K19. That's not a real game, but bear with me with the story. Xbox on, because Xboxes are voice activated. Pause. Xbox on. Please verify that you are an on 332 by saying Doritos do it right. So he says Doritos do it right. Error. Please drink a verification can. Reach into my Doritos Mountain Dew Halo 2K19 war chest. Only a few cans left. Need to verify 14 times last night. Still feeling sick from the 14. Force it down and grumble out. That really hit the spot. Xbox does nothing. I attempt to smile. Connecting to verification server. Verifications complete. Finally, boot up Halo 2K19. Finding multiplayer match. Error. User attempting to steal online gameplay. My mother just walks into the room. Adding another user to your pass. This will be charged to your credit card. Do you accept? No. Console entering lock state. To unlock, drink verification can. Last can. Warning. Out of verification cans. An order has been shipped and charged to your credit card. Drink half the can. Oh God, I'm going to be sick. Pour the last half out the window. Accuracy detect. Complete this advertisement to continue. The Mountain Dew ad plays. I have to dance for it. Feeling so sick. God, this story's so stupid. Oh, where was I? Okay, all right. The Mountain Dew ad. I have to dance for it. Feeling so sick. Makes me sing along. Dancing and singing. Mountain Dew is for me and you. Throw up on myself. Throw up on my TV and entertainment system. Router shouts. Error. No connection. Xbox shutting off. Please drink verification can to continue. Oh. What a rough story. Hopefully you guys don't have to do this to play Xbox. This is obviously a fictional story. Let's try to find another one. Oh my God, that's way too blurry. Okay, here's another 4chan Xbox One story. Here we go. Single mom saves up $500 for an Xbox One. She won't be able to afford a game for it until 2014. But she knows that her electronics-loving son will spend hours exploring the One's hardware anyway. Finally, the day of the Xbox One's release has come. When her son gets home from school, he sees a massive Xbox One box in the center of the living room. He freaks out and does cartwheels. Mom and son embrace. I love you, Mom. Son sets up the Xbox One on a container in his room. Container, sure, yeah. Since they can't afford much furniture. That makes sense. He plugs it in. Xbox One cannot detect an internal connection, shutting down. Boy tries again. Xbox One cannot detect an internal connection, shutting down. He is heartbroken and confused. Mom soothes her son, and tells him that she'll work an extra hour so that they can afford one of those cheap internet services. They finally get internet. Now you can turn the Xbox One on, son. Son turns the Xbox One on. Internet connection too slow. Please check your network to ensure there is enough bandwidth for the Xbox One. Shutting down. Son cries. Mom tries to return the Xbox One. Walmart will not accept it back because the Xbox terms of service, it clearly states that you cannot resell a used Xbox One. Son's Xbox 60 red rings of death. Oof. The dark period of Xbox. He can no longer play Halo with his online friends. Son turns to gangs in real life instead. Half a year later, the mom is able to afford a PlayStation 4. She places the PlayStation 4 box in the center of the living room and waits for her son to come home. She waits. The sun sets. A knock on the door. It's the police. Her son has been killed in a drive-by shooting. The end. Well, that's a dark story. Ugh, I think I'm done with 4chan stories for now. Let's find one more. Man, why are these so small? Oh, I already read that one. Well, I think I'm done with that. Yep. Yep.
Did you win?
Hello.
Did you entertain everybody?
Yeah, I was reading some weird, obscure 4chan Xbox theme stories.
Oh.
Yeah, interesting.
Cool.
So
maybe
that'll be Patreon content for you.
I'm not editing it out.
Okay. All right. Cool. I mean, there was some long pauses before and after, but I mean,
yeah. So sorry, everybody. My daughter has a fever and has been sick for like a week and a half, and we can't figure out what it is. And the doctor just said, give her medicine or whatever. But it's just today she just had she got a fever today, and it spiked really high. So, life of a parent.
Yep.
So
all the best. Hopefully she gets better.
She'll be fine.
She'll be fine.
No school tomorrow, though, it seems. Dang.
Ah, nice.
Anyways, where were we? What I've been playing.
Yeah, what have you been playing?
Well, Stoy, I haven't been playing much, but that's going to change after this week. You know why?
Why?
Because I got a new job, which means I quit my last job, which means I no longer have to get up at 4:30 in the morning.
Hell yeah.
And I no longer get home at 6:15, 6:30 at night. Also,
hell yeah.
I will not be working 6 days a week.
Hell yeah.
So, after this week, hopefully I will have more games to talk about often. But this week, I've been playing Tetris Effect Connected. Love me some Tetris Effect Connected. The music's so good.
Mm-hmm.
Music's so good. It's still Tetris, so it's perfect in every single way. I've been playing Metroid Dread, which is also another very stellar game. I know it's not an Xbox game, but it's still very, 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 very good. Highly recommend it. I've been playing more Sable.
Ooh.
I don't know why, except for I'm doing something with one of my friends from our Destiny podcast on Sable, and it's a slog, man.
Yeah.
It's just a slog, and every time I turn it on, I play it for like a half hour, and I'm like, gosh, is this game over yet? It's just like, I get it. Like, it's not that it's a bad game. It's just a game that I don't want to play,
Yeah.
So it, like, graphically, it's neat, but I also hate how the characters are animated in like 5 frames a second while the rest of the game is animated in 60.
Yeah.
And it gives me a
jarring.
headache. It gives me a headache. Like, I'm like, what am I watching here? So I've been playing that, but I also revisited a game that I never finished, Stoy, this week. And I think I'm going to see it through Although I wish they would release some sort of patch for it. I played the first hour of Batman Arkham Knight because of a new DC FanDome was coming up, and those new DC games look awesome. And I was like, well, I should probably finish Arkham Knight because I never did. And it's a pretty fun video game, I would say. I would say Batman kind of isn't agile or whatever. He just feels like a walking tank that you just, punch people and counter, and the Batmobile kind of sucks, but
I like the whole you don't run people over or kill them. You just it shocks them.
Yeah.
And sends them flying.
Yeah.
Man, I know they're trying to do it the whole like Batman doesn't kill people, but ugh.
Yeah. But I really like the aesthetic of those games, and I really like the way they designed like the characters in Gotham, and even though like the characters, every character except for the Joker looks different in every single game, but I like it. I don't know. I still think Asylum is probably the best game. I still really like Origins a lot, but Arkham Knight is a neat game. I
didn't much care for Origins. I don't know why at the time. Maybe if I give it a second chance, I'll get into it. But maybe Origins was too basic for me. I don't know.
Maybe, but I'm a basic guy.
It's okay.
So
it's okay to be basic.
I liked Origins. I don't know. I played. So for those of you who haven't been following us for a while, obviously I started Nintendo Power Block. So I played when we started Nintendo Power Block. The Wii U was the hot new system from Nintendo, and every single third-party game I can get my hands on was on Wii U. I played it on Wii U, and Arkham Origins and Arkham City were the Batman games on there, and that's where I played Arkham Origins, and we didn't get the DLC or anything. And it sucks because it's like it's the only Batman game that's not backwards compatible yet. Unless you have the disc.
That's right, yeah.
Like, the disc is backwards compatible, but the digital version is not.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Like, you can't buy the digital version on the storefront.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's weird.
Yeah.
I don't really understand why. But I don't know. I really liked it. And I liked the Deathstroke fight. It was cool in that game. I thought Batman felt a little bit more agile in that game. But Arkham Knight is cool. I really dig it. I also have been playing. What was the other game I played? Played some Halo this week. Just multiplayer stuff. No Destiny again this week. Oh, wait, I lied. I did play Destiny on Friday night with some friends.
You got me.
We did the Festival of the Lost stuff, trying to get that dinosaur armor. So, which is cool. You can either buy it with real money or earn the in-game currency, Bright Dust. You can purchase it for 6,000 Bright Dust.
Does it take a long time to get 6,000 Bright Dust?
Well, with the new seasonal challenges and stuff that they do, not really. But
okay, it's not bad.
They want you to earn it. They don't want you to straight up buy it, which is nice, but you can buy it if you don't feel like it. So, let's see, there's 3 more weeks in the thing. So if I don't, I might just straight up buy it in a couple weeks, but it's fun. I really like the way they're doing Festival of the Lost this year. They killed the Haunted Forest, which nobody liked. And they're doing these things called Haunted Lost Sectors, which Lost Sectors are these little mini dungeons in the game that you go in, and it takes like 10 minutes to run one. But they added twists into them with spooky stuff in it. So,
oh, cool!
Yeah,
just in time for Halloween.
Yeah, and they put them in a playlist instead of you having to go to the destinations to do them. So that's a nice feature they added. So. They had a couple new dinosaur-themed guns, too. which is nice. The Jurassic Green, which is a pulse rifle that's really cool. And there's a lot of Jurassic Park references in this season, in this event this year. The beginning of the season starts with "Light finds a way" instead of "Life finds a way." So
yeah,
that's what you're in for. That's what you're in for. Kind of wish your ghost was voiced by Jeff Goldblum this season, but it's not.
Yeah, it's missed opportunity there, Bungie.
Ah, you missed. It's not like he's doing anything. He's doing a docu-series for Disney right now.
Oh,
so
okay.
It's
well, he's doing those apartment.com commercials.
It's true, but he's the docu-series he's doing is called The World According to Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, okay.
And it's they're on the second season right now on Disney Plus. So it's weird. He explores things like ice cream in different parts of the world and shoes and weird stuff, not important stuff.
I mean, that sounds interesting.
It is, but it's Jeff Goldblum, so they're doing it for the memes, I guess.
Well, yeah.
So wow. But Stoy, that's all I've been playing. To be honest with you, I have this week planned to play more because I'm off this week.
Hell yeah.
So, but you know what, Stoy? It is time. It is time to talk some news. And boy, do we have news this week. Starting with DC FanDome. DC FanDome was this week. They showed off new trailers for Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, and Gotham Knights story trailers, which story trailers were good. I think Gotham Knights looks really good and really interesting.
It kind of harkens back to the Batman Arkham, Arkham Asylum, where it's like the kind of more dark, like having like a dark story. It looks really good, like Court of Owls introduction.
Yeah,
really cool.
And the way the Penguin seems to be really involved in the story too is really cool. I like the fact that you get to play as these 4 different characters. Like a world without Batman is also really interesting.
Yeah,
which, don't get me wrong, I still think Batman's probably in the game, right? He probably faked his death to investigate the Court of Owls or something.
Yeah, right, or something like that. And that was the only way he was able to free himself from whatever. I imagine that's kind of how that happened.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't there? I mean, I know the DC universe has multiple. So I imagine there is a DC universe where Batman is dead, like legitimately.
Yeah, I'm sure there is.
I'm pretty sure there is, and but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if all of a sudden at the twist it's like, oh, Batman's alive. Oh shit! Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, or like, I don't know, he's captured by the Court of Owls and he's like a boss fight somewhere like 2/3 of the way through the game, and then you save him or whatever.
Right. I mean, this will lead us to maybe the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, but yeah, it looks, and finally we get a release date of 2022, so at least we know it's coming out this year sometime.
Yeah,
or this next year.
Well, it was supposed to come out this year, if you remember, and then obviously COVID messed up a lot of stuff. But this, out of the 2 games, this one is the one I'm more interested in, to be honest with you. I'm not. Let's talk about Suicide Squad real quick. It's like Suicide Squad is neat. Like I think the idea is neat. I will probably play this just because I like Rocksteady and I'm interested to see what they're doing without Batman this time around. Although we did see a really cool shot of the Batmobile in this game, or in this trailer.
Yeah, because the Justice League is in here. Obviously, Superman is going to be, I imagine, a main villain, and the Flash is in there. You saw Wonder Woman's whip in there, so but they are in there, and it sounds like I'm imagining them being corrupted.
It looks like,
and that's why you have to go out and kill the Justice League.
Yeah, it looks like Brainiac has them all mind controlled except for Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman seems to be the one character in this trailer that's not mind controlled.
Flash kind of like is towing the line. Like I think maybe physically he looks like it, but he's like very self-aware of what he's doing and what's going on.
Yeah. So and then obviously Green Lantern, we saw Green Lantern we saw, the Batmobile.
Yep.
It's I'm really shocked we didn't see any gameplay though.
A lot of that looks in engine.
It does.
You know,
it
lot
does.
of that gameplay.
It does. But last year when they showed off Gotham Knights, they showed like a whole half hour of like gameplay and here's a mission and here's the different ways you can tackle the mission. Suicide Squad, we've gotten 2 trailers, which has been, don't get me wrong, they look cool and like the in-engine stuff is cool and the banter between the characters is funny and stuff, but like no gameplay. And I mean,
it seems like a weird decision.
Yeah, I mean, I wish they would just deep dive a little bit more. It definitely seems like Gotham Knights coming out earlier, and Suicide Squad is coming out probably in like the October-November range next year, probably most likely.
Yeah.
Which one of these games are you looking forward to? Both of them? Are you looking forward to one more than the other?
I'm looking forward to both of them. I'm looking forward to, I'm imagining Suicide Squad is probably the bigger project because it seems like, obviously it's Rocksteady. Rocksteady, redefined the formula of like a good DC universe game. When they came out with Arkham Asylum, it was like it blew the roof off in terms of like, holy crap, like the fluid fighting, the great story, especially probably the best Batman game to have come out almost ever at the time. So, and they obviously kept improving on that formula with every passing iteration. Because Gotham Knights is being developed by Warner Brothers Montreal, right?
Yeah, this is their first. This is their first game since
Origins.
So, which
I think, yeah,
they were originally working on a Justice League game. The rumor is, at least, and then the rumor was they were working on a Suicide Squad game that was canceled after that first movie got terrible reviews.
Yeah.
So, and now obviously Rocksteady's working on Suicide Squad.
Well, I think especially since there was so much hype after the second one, which obviously the second one was a better movie than the first one. And DC, the DC fandom is getting better.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Did you like those games? Or those movies, I mean?
I liked, I liked the Suicide Squad movies. Like the first one and the second one were good in their own ways. I obviously like the second one better because it was more that kind of like batshit craziness that the Suicide Squad is known for. The first one was kind of more dark and serious, had a more serious tone than the second one. So I think the second one kind of more nailed what the Suicide Squad was. And watching the trailer, you definitely get those vibes. At the end of the trailer where they're like, oh my God, Penguin's getting away. Shock him. Zzz.
Yeah.
Oh, he's still getting away. Keep shocking him. And it's like, yeah, it's kind of funny.
It was that part was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Then you get to King Shark and he's just like, yeah,
blow his head off.
Waller, blow his head up. Blow it up.
Yeah, no, it's but I really like Gotham Knights and to be able to play significant time as Nightwing. I'm really excited for that.
Yeah. Well, you can play every mission as any of the characters, which is cool.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, I'm guessing which character you choose to play as is how you tackle the mission, right? Because like Batgirl obviously seems like she's going to be more stealthy, kind of whatever. Nightwing's more up close and personal. Red Hood's obviously got the range weapons and stuff.
So he'll probably be blasting.
Yeah. Plus it's all.
So I go in there and I start blasting.
Plus it's all drop in, drop out co-op, which is cool.
Yeah,
which I
very
like.
Cool. Is Suicide Squad supposed to be like that?
I think.
I imagine it has to be.
I imagine if they're showing 4 different characters, I'm assuming like you can play multiplayer. I'm assuming it's probably going to be mainly multiplayer, and then if you want to play by yourself, then you can. But
yeah, right. Maybe hopefully AI controlled bots.
Yeah,
or something like that as teammates.
Yeah,
which can be hit or miss depending on how well they develop it.
Yeah.
So
I do like the character designs in both games though.
For sure. I'm not, like I said, I know I will definitely play both, and it looks like both look really good. Which one I'll like the most, I I don't know. I can't speculate at this point. I mean, I've seen Gotham Knight gameplay. I just haven't seen Suicide Squad gameplay. So I think that's really kind of what it comes down to.
Yeah. I'm excited for both though. I think I will definitely be playing these both. I think WB has a good slate of games though. Like these two games. I think Injustice 3 will probably come out soon. That Harry Potter game I think sounds really interesting. I mean, I don't know if you're a Harry Potter guy, but I would run around Hogwarts for 10 to 20 hours and, magic shit up,
I think my wife may make me get that game. She's a big Harry Potter fan, so she may make me buy the game just to watch me play it.
I mean, it's one way to get you to play it, I guess.
I guess so, yeah. I mean, I don't mind. It sounds like an interesting concept, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's 20. Yeah, next year is going to be a big year for DC, man. Like,
yeah,
some big movies. I mean, the Batman trailer looks awesome.
Oh my gosh, the Batman looks so awesome. Good. The Peacemaker show looks cool. Like, gosh, dude, can we talk about the Batman trailer for a second? I know this.
Yes, we can talk about the Batman trailer for a second.
Oh, it looks so good. That like the scary version of the Riddler and not like the, dumb looking version.
Yeah, thank God. Yeah, just I mean, I love Jim Carrey, but Jesus, man.
God, dude, that
and the Penguin, man. They make the Penguin look so good. Like,
Colin Farrell is unrecognizable.
Man. It's like you can't even like his voice and the way the makeup, man.
Yeah.
He went all in on that role, and that's the one thing that DC I think does better than Marvel is the villains.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they always have though, right? Like, I mean, they just always have, even back into the 90s, right? Like, well, we'll say Batman and Batman Returns. I would say, I mean, the Riddler and like the goofy version of Bane, maybe not, but
yeah, we could bypass Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, but. I mean, I'm talking like DC Comics and stuff like that. They've always done a really good job of like writing really good villains and designing really good villains.
Yeah.
So, but it just looks like, man, like it's more violent. Like I wouldn't be surprised if this Batman movie would be rated R. I really don't.
I mean, that would be cool. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah.
And then like Zoe Kravitz's Catwoman. Definitely cool. Looks
definitely cool.
Great. But yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people were giving Robert Pattinson crap because of, the whole Twilight thing, but like he's awesome as Batman. His voice is awesome.
Yeah. And he's already kind of like a brooding type of character anyway, so he fits the Bruce Wayne, persona perfectly. Yeah. And obviously he's young enough that I imagine this is going to be almost like a Batman origin story.
Yeah.
From what it sounds like.
Well, I guess there's a comic that they're basing this off of called Batman 0 Year or something. And it's like before the rise of the different villains and stuff. And the Riddler is really like the first villain that Batman comes up against. And it's like the scary.
Well,
Riddler
that was
with, like,
Batman Origin, I think. Right. Like Batman Origin is obviously the year 0. Timeline.
I don't know. I was just watching something on IGN's YouTube video on YouTube channel today, and they were talking about it, with like the scary duct tape, and he's basically like a precursor to the Joker almost, where he has everything planned out and everything, and it's cool. I'm excited to see. Plus, like the bat suit looks cool, and like the bat logo is made out of the gun that killed his parents or whatever, supposedly. It's just a cool concept. Yeah, that's like the rumor, I guess.
Okay.
But
I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's bulletproof too, like that scene where he's in that dark room and they're just, these guys are unleashing on him and he's just walking down and he's just bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, it's so good. I'm so excited to see that movie. I'm gonna. I don't know. I've had a real itch to watch some good, violent kind of movies lately. I watched Kong Skull Island this week for some reason.
Oh, okay. That's a weird choice.
It was weird. I was looking for. I wanted to watch like something that was different than a superhero movie this week.
Yeah.
But then, like, once I saw the DC FanDome stuff, I was like, nah, I want to go back and watch, like, the Batman stuff. But I did add The Dark Knight to my list, even though it's like a 3-hour-long movie. It's okay. But I did watch Kong Skull Island for some reason because everybody told me that this movie and the Godzilla movie are, like, really good. And I was like, it was okay. Some of the scenes didn't really make sense, but
did it scratch that itch that you were looking for?
No,
that's too bad.
See, here's the thing though. I watched The Matrix, the entire trilogy, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
and that really scratched an itch. I was like, yeah, this is cool. And then I watched the trailer for the new movie. And I was like, man, I forgot that spoilers for The Matrix Revolutions or Revelations or whatever. Neo is blind because they burn his eyeballs.
Yeah,
but he can still see. So, but in this new movie, he's not. So what's happening? I don't know. I have a lot of questions about this new Matrix movie. But
yeah,
Batman looks cool.
Yep.
I keep getting sidetracked, but the Batman looks cool. Black Adam looks like I don't know, like
violent.
Yeah, like The Rock.
Violent
is finally.
I was really hoping he wouldn't come in and just make it a PG or PG-13 movie. It's like Black Adam's a very bad good guy, bad good guy. So he needs to play that role, and at least that little teaser that we got of just like him disintegrating that guy in his hand. Yeah. I was like, okay, that's leaving me with a little glimmer of hope.
Yeah. Do you trust The Rock as a superhero?
I don't. I'm nervous.
Yeah.
Well, because Black Adam is a particular, like, I mean, if he's going to come on and play as Shazam, honestly, he probably would have been a good fit as Shazam, you know, because Shazam is kind of like that quirky guy, whatever. Obviously, he's like a 12-year-old boy trapped in a 40-year-old dude's body, whatever. But I would have trusted him to play as Shazam more so than Black Adam.
I mean, he already does that in Jumanji, right? Like he's a kid in a.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I like The Rock. Don't get me wrong. I love watching The Rock and stuff. But like, I don't know. I feel like the superhero stuff is something that maybe he might not be fit for because he's already like just an action hero, right? It's like putting Arnold into a superhero movie in the 90s, early you know,
Mr. Freeze.
Yeah.
Everybody chill.
Chill out.
Yeah. So that little scene that they showed gave me a little hope. Like, okay, this could be good.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Where he melts the guy when he's choking him out.
Yep.
Yeah. Speaking of choking people out, we're going to move on to our next story. Minecraft is getting a major update in 2022. This is the Wild update, which is in, let's see. It's incorporating new beasts and promises a lot of fun stuff like mud, swamps, swamps, frogs and tadpoles, and even boats with chests.
Wow.
Yeah. It's also set to include the Deep Dark expansion and Caves and Cliffs Part 2 update. So that's something you can look forward to. Minecraft is this game just keeps on going, man.
That's the thing. It doesn't need any of this extra stuff. Like this game is still like one of the most played games like every year. Like
I know.
It's making so much money for Microsoft and Mojang that it's just like they don't need to do anything.
No.
But the fact that they're still kind of putting out content for it, even though it's like menial stuff, like, hey, we just put mud in this game. It's like there's probably Minecraft players out there that's like, whoa, what?
Yeah. I'm really glad that when they purchased this, they kept the game kind of like small, but keep adding to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I remember when they bought it, everybody was like, "Oh, they're just gonna like make it a Xbox thing and ruin it or whatever." And they really haven't. They've made it so much better.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about that last couple weeks ago, where like Microsoft is using Minecraft in job interviews.
Yeah.
Like, play this Minecraft themed game to showcase us your talent. Like, who would think that?
Yeah.
Microsoft, a company like Microsoft would.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm glad they didn't make me play Minecraft in my job interview because
that'd have been a little weird too. It's like, what's the jump button?
Yeah. I've played a little bit of Minecraft, but not a.
I have never touched Minecraft ever, and I think that's one of these things I'll have to do one of these days.
Yeah, it's cool. Like, I mean, it's cool. Like, the creative mode is cool. I don't know if I would ever play the survival mode, but the creative mode is cool.
Yeah, I played the story modes, Telltale Minecraft story modes.
Mm-hmm.
Those are fun.
Yeah,
Pee Wee Herman's a voice actor in them.
Is he?
Yeah.
That's That's an interesting ad.
He does a really good job.
Does he?
He actually does a really good job. He plays as a villain in the first part of the first season, and then all of a sudden reverts to being a good guy, and it's like kind of like this. It's funny, man. I don't know.
Fair, I guess. Fair.
Yeah. That's about as much as Minecraft as I played.
Yeah, I played about, I don't know, probably like 10 hours of it one time because I was bored, and every night I would just go in and dig a hole and like build a building, and like, look at this cool building I made, and look at these tunnels I dug, and then after I was just like, I'm done. That was like 10 years ago. So
okay. The game's still around, still kicking.
It is still trucking along. Anyways, Minecraft getting a cool update. Hope all you crafters out there are living it up. So I closed my dock. Got to reopen it. Haha.
Call of Duty Vanguard.
Yes, Call of Duty Vanguard seems to be the first game in a new trilogy, according to its writer. That's interesting. Quote, "We came into this process saying, how do we make iconic COD characters? Because we don't really have that in a Call of Duty game right now." I would argue that Soap is pretty iconic.
Well, Captain Price.
And Price, too.
It's pretty damn iconic.
Yeah.
There isn't really, Frank Woods was an iconic character for a little bit of the Black Ops series.
Yeah.
But I would say Captain Price and Soap were probably the two biggest ones. And Infinity Ward just does Call of Duty better than all these other developers. So
yeah.
That's not to take away from Infinity War. That's not to take away from Sledgehammer Games and Treyarch. They do a good job, but
yeah,
Infinity Ward just does it better.
Yeah. I mean, especially with the last Modern Warfare, I really feel like Infinity Ward is kind of back in a way that, don't get me wrong, Treyarch does an amazing multiplayer suite with Black Ops and whatever, but those campaigns, aside from probably that first one, and I don't know, I don't really remember the second one at all, to be honest. Again, a game I played on Wii U. It was weird.
Wait, the Black Ops?
Black Ops 2, I played on Wii U.
Yeah, they were just kind of okay. Crazy storytelling.
Yeah.
I think it was probably the most there was a lot of mind fuckery in those, but a lot of twists at the end. But in terms of action sequences and memorable scenes,
Yeah. I just I really feel like Call of Duty is more just everybody plays the multiplayer. You don't really focus on the story or the characters, and
I focus on the story and the characters.
Well, I'm saying
but
generalized. I feel like if maybe this is maybe the first step into maybe them making people care about the characters, and who knows, maybe you won't, right? Maybe nobody will, and maybe this is a one-off and doesn't do very well, and people are still going to play the multiplayer or Warzone or maybe go back to one of the older games because this game isn't very good. I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But it seems like the writer is taking it very seriously, and I hope that they get to see this through, because going into a campaign like Call of Duty, planning it as a trilogy sounds like a cool idea.
Yeah, and I think, admittedly, even he says it, he's like, we came into this, thinking like who could be the flagship Call of Duty characters, because Sledgehammer doesn't really have that right now.
Mm-hmm.
Besides Josh Duhamel, and obviously he shows up in one game and then that's it. So like, you really need Sledgehammer Games needs that.
Mm-hmm.
If Treyarch had that with Frank Woods, as we talked about, Infinity Ward had that with Captain Price.
Mm-hmm.
Sledgehammer doesn't have that, and they need that right now if they want people to come back and continually play their campaigns.
Right.
Especially if they start to see familiar characters pop in.
Yeah. So plus it'll differentiate them from the other two platforms and give them like, okay, well, here's Infinity Wards. You're getting something modern, right? You're going to get something kind of cool and multiplayer is going to be solid. Black Ops, okay. Campaign might not be as great, but the multiplayer is going to be awesome. Here, they can say, "Hey, look, we're the campaign team. We make cool campaigns, and yeah, we're going to have a good multiplayer suite, but you come to our version of Call of Duty for the campaign and the characters and the story." So, cool.
So it looks like they're doubling down for that.
Yeah, I will definitely be. I want to check out. I haven't played Call of Duty in so long, and like Modern Warfare, the last one was like, maybe I should play some of these campaigns at some point again.
Honestly, the more recent Modern Warfare is the best campaign since probably the original Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Like it was just so good. Some memorable, iconic scenes in that game, especially like the scene where you're like slowly like infiltrating this house in London and just moving. Man, it was just so good.
Yeah, everything
about that game is good.
We'll see. I hope that they do a good campaign. I'm pulling for them. They've kind of been, I wouldn't say struggling, but they've kind of been the underdog for a while. And so,
because they're the new kid on the block.
Yeah,
compared to Treyarch and
plus like last year's game kind of getting moved to this year, and Treyarch being pushed into last year's multiplayer, pushing that up in that game. Mm-hmm. So I hope it's good. So speaking of games that seem to be good, Square Enix is still in, quote, positive discussions to bring Final Fantasy XIV to Xbox. There's a quote here. "I feel bad for saying the same thing every time, but we are still in discussions with Microsoft, and I feel like our discussions are going in a positive tone. I don't want to say we do not have an Xbox version, but I am hoping that the timing will be very soon and that I will have some kind of update to players. I'm sure there's a lot of things that people want to ask about this subject, and there are a lot of things I want to share, but I'm afraid I am unable to divulge on those details. So when the time comes, I'm sure the time will come. So if you could kindly stand by, that'd be great." This is from Yokai Yoshida, him explaining the discussions with what's going on with Xbox. I have been holding out for an Xbox version of this game.
I think it's due because, like every year it seems like Final Fantasy XIV just keeps getting more and more players.
Mm-hmm. 24 million players right now. It is the most profitable Final Fantasy ever. And what I hear is the story in this game is actually very, very, very good.
Yeah, Pat and Dan actually from our podcast played a significant amount of time with these games, and they just absolutely love it.
Yeah, and I'm very excited to jump in. I remember when it was a really, really big deal when Final Fantasy XI came to Xbox 360, and you didn't need Xbox Live for it, and it was like this weird kind of workaround thing for them to use the network but not be a part of Xbox Live. But it was still really cool, right? Like it was really interesting. It was big. And the way that Xbox is functioning now and this game being so popular, like I would really, really love for this game to be on Xbox just to, say, hey, we have these big Japanese games too. And I know we're going to talk about it a little bit in our main topic, but I think this would be a pretty big get for Xbox for sure.
No, it would definitely help with the Japanese market in terms of selling Xboxes. And also just for like Western, like Western players too.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's there's some people that are just pro Sony, pro Xbox, and Xbox doesn't have a lot of really good MMO RPGs right now, and this would be huge for Xbox for the West.
Yeah. So what's that one that's on Game Pass? That MMO that's on Game Pass, Black Desert Online or something?
Oh, Black Desert Online. Yeah, that was Korean developed.
Yeah, it has
game.
like a sexy pirate lady on the box art.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, but I mean, imagine like something with a big name like Final Fantasy 14. Like, obviously, Xbox has their Final Fantasy games. Like, they have those all those single player games. But so it is actually really surprising that Square didn't just bring this over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I know that Square is pretty buddy with Sony right now in terms of Final Fantasy, right? Like, 7 Remake is timed exclusive, 16 is a timed exclusive. I don't know. I know that, but like, I don't understand why these games aren't making their way to Xbox. I really kind of I just don't understand. Like, our Japanese developers. I mean, we're gonna put a pin in it. We're gonna come back to this, our main topic.
Yep. Because especially from his quote, he said, "I don't want to say we don't have an Xbox version." So I imagine a lot of it has to do with like working it out with Microsoft, like on the business side of it.
Yeah.
It's probably sitting there right now. It's like, it's ready to go. Just say the word.
I wonder if they're waiting for like the EXO event to announce it, or like, I don't know. I don't feel like this would be a Game Awards announcement, but I feel like this would be like an EXO announcement.
I would see this as a Game Awards announcement because,
really,
especially since this primarily affects the West.
Yeah.
Well, not primarily, because I imagine a lot of people are already playing this in Japan and on their other systems. So, I would see this as like coming out of the Game Awards, like blah blah. This game is available now.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty amazing.
Be sick.
Comes out the Game Pass. If it comes out the Game Pass, maybe that's what they're working out.
Maybe.
That'd be sick.
I mean, maybe they are. Maybe that would be cool if they had like a Game Pass announcement of like, okay, well, here are the rest of the Final Fantasy. Here's how they lead it off. Here's the Final Fantasy 13 trilogy, right? I mean, I know 13.1 is here, but the other 2 games aren't there yet.
Yeah, right.
Here are the other 2 games, and then they announce like Final Fantasy 14 is coming, and then they announce that Final Fantasy 7 Remake is also coming to Game Pass. That'd be cool.
That'd be sick.
Like a lead up into that. That'd be cool.
Yeah. We'll see. I don't know. Like I said, maybe there's definitely something on the business side that needs to get ironed out.
Absolutely. Are you a Final Fantasy guy, Stoy?
Yes, I am.
What's your favorite Final Fantasy, Stoy?
I have a fondness for 8. I really enjoyed 9 a lot. 7 was obviously my entry point into the series. Like most plebs, I never played the original ones. But yeah, I would definitely, I don't know. I'm at a cross between like 7 and 8.
Yeah.
I love the remake.
Yeah.
I loved it better than I thought I would. So even though it's like half the freaking story.
I enjoyed 8 a lot. 9 was my first Final Fantasy.
Okay.
And then I went back, like, right before I went 9, 10, 8, 7. And I think that's why I don't really care for 7 all that much.
Yeah, I think you have to play it at the time.
Yeah, it's like, definitely
at the time when that came out, it was pretty damn groundbreaking.
Yeah,
like that was the first video game commercial I saw in a movie theater, because that's how big it was. That's how big it was pegged to be like this big cinematic masterpiece.
Yeah,
for that you could play on a video game system. So I remember seeing it and I was like, "What the shit is this game about?" Like, all right, I'll give it a shot. I never played a Final Fantasy game before, and yeah, sure enough, it ended up kind of. I remember playing in the summer, all summer, just playing Final Fantasy VII, just locking hours and hours in.
Yeah,
but yeah.
I remember playing 9 because I had a PS2 at the time, and I remember going into GameStop and buying black label versions of 7, 8, and 9 for like less than $10 a piece.
Those are worth a lot of money now.
I know they are.
I mean, a lot more money than the, greatest hits editions, but
I know. And
then
after that I bought Final Fantasy Tactics and never played it.
Never got into that. Got into that one.
But
yeah, like I said, it's coming. I know it is. Final Fantasy XIV coming to Xbox. It's just a matter of when at this point.
Yeah.
And I imagine they want to make it like this big bombastic, like, typical Xbox fashion of just like, boom, check it out, yo, we got it on the Xbox and it's coming off a Game Pass. Mic drop.
Yeah. I
tried to do my best Phil Spencer impression.
It was not good.
It was not good. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'll keep working on that.
Look, you don't have your cool jacket. You don't have your cool jacket with the pockets and the Battletoads t-shirt underneath.
No, yeah. Or the rare logo t-shirt underneath.
Yeah. Fails.
There's no better time to play on the Xbox. I'll work on it.
We got to get Phil on here one day. It's a goal.
Phil, call me. Yeah. We'll get there.
Phil. Anyways. That's it for the news, Stoy.
Mm-hmm.
But before we get into the topic of the show, we're going to get into a little topic called Pass It On, where we talk about what's coming to Game Pass this week. Stoy, what's coming to Game Pass this week?
Only one game. And that one's not coming out actually for another week. So it's actually coming out next week. It's coming out on the 26th. It's called Moonglow Bay.
What is that?
Have you ever wanted to play a fishing game?
No.
In a small Canadian town where all your characters are Minecraft characters?
No.
Okay, well then this game is not for you, sir. So yeah, it's basically like you're fishing in a small town, you're catching fish, you're selling fish, you're taking this fish and you're eating it and making cool recipes with it, and it's like everybody's designed in that kind of like blocky Minecraft design.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Neat.
So yeah, that comes out on the 26th. We did talk about, like I said, last week, The Good Life came out. That's on Game Pass. The Rift Breaker, which is that giant, like particle effect driven mech game that like looks batshit crazy. And then Ring of Pain that came out last week too as well. But
Ring of Pain.
Yeah. Have you played Procession to Calvary yet, bro?
Nope.
Come on.
Look, I told you I have a list of games that I would like to play.
That needs to go to the top of your list.
Okay.
You need to move that to the top of your list.
Okay.
Okay.
I will do so.
All right.
You're
going to enjoy it. You're going to be like, man, Stoy was right. Stoy was right. He's the smartest guy I know.
Stoy's so smart.
He's so smart. I wish I could be like Stoy. Anyway. But yeah, otherwise, Age of Empires 4 comes out for the PC next week too. And that's a day one release.
I would play that if I played PC games.
Yeah.
But I do not. So I will not. The only PC game, Stoy, that I will play is Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Oh, okay.
You ever played Roller Coaster Tycoon?
I played Roller Coaster Tycoon when they first came out. And I could never figure out how to make good roller coasters.
Oh, man. Those were my jam. Those games are my jam.
Mm-hmm.
My jam. So.
But that's what's coming out. That's all.
Cool. Look forward to that.
Unless like Microsoft like shadow drops like a bunch of things like, hey, check this shit out. It's coming out tomorrow. And then, yeah, I'm gonna look like an idiot.
They might though.
Yeah, they did that with Visage. They did that with Procession to Calvary, and where all of a sudden they're like, bam, look at check this out.
It's fair.
Here you go.
It's cool. It's cool.
Yeah.
Speaking of cool, we're gonna get on to our topic of the show. It'll probably be a smaller discussion, but it's still something that I think we should discuss because it seems more and more relevant than ever, I would say, especially since Xbox is selling better over in Japan. Why are Japanese developers so hesitant on bringing games to the Xbox? And has it seen more of a positive or negative, positive growth or negative whatever this generation? I I say this based on our Final Fantasy conversation, based on, certain games coming to PlayStation and Switch, but not Xbox. It just seems like Japanese developers are hesitant on bringing games to the Xbox. Now, we saw a couple weeks ago that Capcom, or maybe it was like last week or something, Capcom said that their lead platform will now be PC, which we know will be easier to port games to Xbox, which Capcom hasn't really been shy about putting their games on Xbox, but other companies have. And I want to get your take on this. Why do you think this is something that has been a problem for Xbox, especially recently?
Well, it was doing well with the 360. It was going really well. They made a lot of good partnerships with Japanese developers on making good RPGs, exclusive RPGs to the system. Xbox 360 sales did fine. The Xbox One, I think, really, to admit fault, the Xbox One really put a stain on Microsoft's reputation. And I think that lost a lot of faith with the Japanese developers on how they rolled out the system and, what the system was supposed to be. Microsoft obviously backtracked a lot, and they became more game-centric, more so at the tail end of the development cycle, the hardware cycle. But, it was almost like too little too late. So that's why the release of the Series X and the Series S, is like was kind of a chance for them to like rebrand and say, hey, all right, we mean it this time. We're really about the games. And they're very committed to that. And they've definitely showed us that these last couple of years. And even like looking at the sales numbers, it's already starting to showcase that it's actually working for them. Like they've already outpaced both the Series X and the Series S have outpaced the sales of the Xbox One already.
I know.
It's
like insane.
It's sold over 100,000 units in Japan. Admittedly, it's nowhere near to like the Nintendo Switch or the PlayStation systems. Like I think just the OLED version of the Nintendo Switch are sold way more than 100,000 already. But still, like that's a big step for Microsoft.
Yeah.
And they need to, Japanese developers, I think, need to start kind of like paying attention to that. It's like, it maybe costs a little bit extra development time, but this is an audience that we need to reach out to.
Yeah. Yeah. Plus, like with the with xCloud and everything, like I feel like you look at the way that Japan plays games, right? And the Switch is obviously a huge hit over there because of mobile stuff, and they play a lot of
it's affordable,
a lot of phone games and stuff. And I think that even if they don't sell a lot of units over there, like the cloud gaming stuff is going to be big over there at some point, just based on the way that Japanese people live and using the train and that kind of thing. Like plus I think the way Xbox was ran late in the 360 and early in Xbox One, right? It was like, oh, we're too good for everybody else. We're just going to power our way through here and be all, quote unquote, hardcore American about it almost. And I think it hurt them across the board. And the way that, Phil Spencer and, Sarah Bond and the different teams have kind of regained not only the trust of the gamers, but the industry almost as a whole, right, has been really cool to see. And seeing games like Final Fantasy make it to Game Pass and Dragon Quest and Yakuza, right? Like they have a really great relationship with Sega. And I want to see more of that. I really want to see more.
Yeah, and I think it will. It's just, Microsoft needs to prove itself to the developers to say, hey, we really are committed to your survival and to increase your audience. Like I said, with these sales numbers that we've seen, it's a step in the right direction. And I think eventually they'll come. Obviously, we'll probably get some ports. Like I said, getting Final Fantasy XIV on an Xbox system will be huge. Maybe getting some other, kind of like Japanese developed RPGs on there as well. Astral Ascending is kind of a step in the right direction. Scarlet Nexus, same thing. Those are steps in the right direction, especially since they're on Game Pass. Game Pass is going to be a big thing out there because, like we said, we're talking about the mobile market, where you can play on the cloud, you can play on your cell phone, you can play on, obviously when the Steam Deck comes out, that's going to be a big thing too as well.
Mm-hmm.
And even like we've all heard about the rumors about how Microsoft wants to kind of make Xbox kind of like an ethos where it's like they want to sell Xbox enabled TVs, where it's like you could just fire it up and play on the cloud directly from your TV, like on a TV app. That'd be pretty amazing too for that Japanese audience as well. So
yeah, and I think the way that Xbox is doing things, kind of thinking outside the box, like you said, with the Xbox enabled TVs, or like it basically being just like an app on your TV, right? Like a smart app. Like you can already connect Xbox controllers to your TV. When I go into my Bluetooth settings for my TV, and like my Xbox controller comes up as an option if it's on, and it's weird.
Yeah,
but
it's weird to think about that.
It's still so cool to think that someday, like maybe one day we won't need a box. It's kind of scary, but I mean, it's just
that would all depend on how fast the internet can get, because admittedly, right, especially here in the West, like my internet is not like I can't stream 4K HDR content smoothly.
Why not?
I'd rather have hardware because my internet sucks.
No, just mess with you.
Comparatively, even like I would imagine even like the best internet would still kind of run it okay.
Yeah.
The best streaming the best streaming platform that, is PlayStation Plus or PlayStation Now. That's pretty decent if you don't mind playing it like 720 or 1080p. And then Google Stadia. I have the Google Stadia like Premier Edition, and that's pretty decent. But still, like, you get those little like frame rate hiccups where it's like the internet's trying to catch up, and especially if other people in your house are trying to connect, that kind of changes the dynamic of your game. So I think we're still a pretty ways away from abandoning systems altogether.
Yeah. But in terms of support for Japanese developers, I think Phil has done a marvelous job of especially like, Dragon Quest is like is such a huge get, like especially for Japanese audience. Like we think Final Fantasy is Square's biggest IP, and maybe worldwide it might be, but like in Japan, Dragon Quest is their biggest IP.
Yeah,
across the board. Like people, they have Dragon Quest Day when the new game comes out. They give everybody the day off work, so because so many people were requesting off.
When are we gonna get a Halo Day? Are we gonna get a Halo Day this year, Corey? I'm just calling in sick. Screw it.
Just calling it. Hey, I got that Halo infection.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there's a halo over my four post bed.
Wow.
And I know it's not mine.
But you see,
I'll see if I can use it on the weekend of a one night stand.
I hate you so much.
Why do I keep doing this?
I don't know.
Anyway, I'm stuck in the late 90s.
You are.
Yeah.
It's okay. I forgive you. I like that song though.
Something's got to get me stopping from Never mind. Moving on. Xbox. Sugar.
Who's turning you around again?
Yeah. Shut the door, babe. So yeah, like what's gonna really kind of nail it down is if developers specifically work with Xbox exclusive titles.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to see that for a while. That's where Microsoft needs to make an investment into. They need to go into Japan and literally start buying studios there, or maybe even just like develop studios, start their own development studios. Go in there and just say, hey, we want to make a Microsoft studio here, and they start to hire talent, instead of maybe just going in and just throwing money at a studio and say, you're ours now.
There's that rumor that they're going to try to publish that Kojima's next project, right?
Yeah.
Which it would be huge.
Mm-hmm.
Getting that exclusive. I mean, I can't think of anybody else to make a statement with, right? I mean,
yeah. I mean, having a big iconic developer like Kojima,
yeah,
depending on how you think of him, like me personally, I think he's overrated, but he's definitely iconic.
I do too, but like in the grand scheme of the industry, I think, he's still like a visionary and still like one of the best outside of, unless you're going to go after like someone from Nintendo to pull them over, which I don't think you're going to, let's be honest.
Right. Yeah, no kidding.
Although, you know what I was thinking though? Actually, all those people that just left Sega to form their own studio, those people from the Yakuza team that just left.
That Ryu Soguden or whatever. Yeah, developer, yeah.
They could be maybe doing something. Maybe Microsoft wants to fund their next game.
Yeah.
Because Yakuza was such a hit, like a Dragon was hit.
I think that's really what's going to nail them into the Japanese market is developing, fully Japanese developed first-party titles instead of just porting stuff over. Porting stuff over is all good and well, but it's not going to ultimately move your system, especially if it's a game that's been out for like the PlayStation for 3 years. So it's like, oh, good, it's on the Xbox. I'll still continue to play it on my PS5 or my PlayStation 4 or whatever. So,
yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see if Microsoft gets into that Japanese market. I'm excited.
They have to. I mean, it's kind of untapped. It's untapped potential. So they, and it's something they've been trying to get at for years. Like, especially with the stumbling block that they had with the Xbox One, they need to make up for lost time.
Right. Yeah. Sorry, my wife needed me for like a second.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, we'll see. I hope that Xbox keeps growing and bringing cool new talent from Japanese markets and making good deals and seeing stuff on Game Pass or even just on Xbox in general.
Yeah.
So. But Stoy, I think that's going to do it.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Thank you for your time tonight. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Jesse, for joining in on the chat like halfway through the show.
Thanks, Jesse. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks for showing up.
Thanks for being here. Oh, I got to eat dinner with my family. Jerk.
Whatever.
Jerk.
Yeah, I got 6 other days in the week to eat dinner with your family.
Yeah.
You pick tonight.
Yeah.
Excuses. Anyway,
I want to thank everybody for watching and or listening to Arsenal X. Remember, you can find it every Tuesday on your podcast service of choice. If you listen on iTunes, give us a follow, a 5-star rating, and a nice review. Really appreciate it.
Or just type lol in the chat like Jesse does with every Twitter post he does.
Yeah. Lol. Jesse Logless. Am I right?
Yeah.
That was bad. It's bad.
We'll work on that.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Stoy, where can we find you?
Well, I am also part of the EXP Cast, video game podcast. We're on the Boss Rush Network as well. You can follow me there on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at EXP Cast.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
We have no new episodes this week, so this is going to be the one place to hear me this week.
This is the solo Stoy appearance this week.
Yep, for sure.
Unless you show up on Monsters Podcast if we need a 4th chair. You can find me at IamCoreyNHD on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me on the Boss Rush Podcast. You can find me doing various other things here on the Boss Rush Network. Thank you guys so much for watching and or listening. And until next time.